This is just so funny to me. I wish I could say I feel bad for Florida, but I don't. Look, it's simple. Stop promising these kids you're going to pay them $10 million. More money, more problems. Ladies and gentlemen, we are playing a dangerous, and I mean a very dangerous game right now. As far as it goes for the transfer portal, the NIL, which is the name, image, and likeness, y'all know how I feel about it. I'm all for these players getting paid. Just like with anything in life, with the good, you're going to get the bad. There's going to be some benefits to the transfer portal. There's going to be some benefits to the NIL. On the other hand, there's going to be some downsides to it as well. It is what it is. We just got to deal with it. We are no longer in the warning stages of it. It's here. Let me put this into a better perspective. You know how you get a tornado warning, right? You got about 25-30 minutes to prepare before that tornado hits your house. Well, applying that analogy to this situation, the warning was last year. That was the warning. We're no longer in the warning stages. The tornado, it is here. It has hit our house. Me and you are currently circling and flying around in the tornado. Our PS5 is flying around in the tornado, and we see all of our TV is also being tossed around. The tornado's here. It's too late. Now we just got to try to figure out how we can rebuild our house. And our house in this situation is college football as we once knew it. And when I say how we knew it, I'm talking about when players used to go to universities and used to play the game because they loved it. It wasn't all about the money. It's not the business that it is nowadays. As to how me and you got caught up into this mess and storm in this tornado and we are circling around, I have no idea. All I know is we're here. In today's video, we got to talk about Florida losing or potentially losing a 5-star recruit because of the NIL. I'm sure you can put two and two together. That's what we got to go over in this video. I've been following this situation very closely for the past 2 days, and the reason, just like always, I didn't want to speak on it right when all this stuff was coming out because we don't know what's true and what isn't true. That's why I always try to give these situations and developments a couple days before I react because a lot changes. And more times than not, when this information leaks out, it's just people trying to get clicks and views. I'm excited for this one. Hope you guys are excited as well. Get your snack, get your popcorn, whatever you like to eat or drink whenever you watch a video, because I do the same thing. As always, you know the corny intro. If you're not a part of the best college football community on the YouTube platform, which is us, by the way, if you couldn't put two and two together, consider subscribing. All right, blah, 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 shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, kicking off today's video, Ian Davenport said on Twitter, Matt, what's your reaction to Dabo and Clemson firing Streeter and hiring Riley within hours? I think Dabo has finally taken his head from you know where. Go Tigers. Go Tigers, if you know what I'm referring to. I'm talking about Ed Ogeron, who used to coach at LSU. He never said Tigers, it was Tigers. Anyways, yeah, we made a video about that last night, and I think it's one of the best things Dabo Swinney has ever done at Clemson. I'm excited for Clemson, and I'm not even a fan. I'm going to keep this one short and simple. You got to be thrilled about it. Great hire. The offense at Clemson has been terrible the past 2 years, so you kind of had to make a change. Next up, I'm going to read you off this one, and then we got to get a move on. Exotic0956, aka I Am Vol Fan for Life, said, Matt, be great. I've been watching your video since Alabama versus Tennessee, and I have not missed a video since, but do you think Tennessee could make a run for the SEC East in the next few years? Thank you for the comment and the great question, and also thank you for the continuous support. As far as it goes for Tennessee competing for the SEC East, it's not so much that I don't believe in Tennessee, it's more so of Georgia is Georgia. And I think this Tennessee fan understands that. But the question says, do you think Tennessee could make a run for the SEC East? And yes, I do. Because you got to look at it. The SEC East outside of Tennessee and Georgia, not that good. Kentucky is not an elite team. Florida, they're in shambles. They're in one of the worst spots they've ever been in since I've been alive. I guess South Carolina would be your third best team. Missouri's not that great, and Vanderbilt, well, they're Vanderbilt. So when you take a look at it, I don't think Tennessee just has a decent shot at making a run for the East. They got a great shot of winning it. Do I think they got a great shot of beating Georgia? No, but all you need is for Tennessee to have a really good game and for Georgia to have a bad game, and Tennessee could pull off the upset. And the way it's looking, as long as Tennessee beats Georgia, you're going to win the East. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. I get it, I get it, I get it 100%. Easier said than done. It's much easier for me to sit up here and try to convince you that Tennessee is going to beat Georgia and win the East. But the way the Tennessee program's heading, they're definitely going to be in the conversation for years to come. Thank you for the question once again. And by the way, huge shout out, major shout out to the Vol Nation. This may rub some Bama fans the wrong way, but they are one of my favorite fan bases to keep up with, and they're one of the best fan bases in all of college football. The Vol Nation's awesome. Shout out to all my Tennessee fans. Maybe to some people they think they're too crazy, but I expect that out of them, so it doesn't shock me when they do crazy stuff. Two of my favorite fan bases outside of Alabama's, of course, is Tennessee fans and Oklahoma fans. There's just something about those two fan bases that I admire and respect so much. Like always, if there's anything you feel like we need to discuss or talk about on the channel, all you gotta do is tweet it at me. But finally, moving on to the main topic of the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto the video, we gotta talk about this 5-star recruit and this mess that is currently unfolding at Florida. It is currently still going on. Let me pull it up. I'm almost 99% sure he's a 5-star recruit. Okay, gotta pull it up right here. Jaden Rashada, 6'4", 175 pounds. Dang, that's kind of skinny. Quarterback, and yes, he is a 5-star recruit with a 98 overall quarterback rating. Not too bad. According to 24/7 Sports, like I said, 5-star recruit, but also a top 30 player and the 6th best quarterback in his class. I gotta say this, and I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record player if you've heard me say this before, but time after time after time, I've told you guys, I don't get too involved and worked up with the recruitment of high school players. I simply don't, because honestly, I don't care, and that is the cold hard truth. I don't care if Alabama and Nick Saban get 10 5-star recruits or 0. It doesn't bother me. All I want is guys that want to come to our university and play hard. That's it. Of course, like always, do I want all the 5-star recruits in the world to want to come to Bama? Yes. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to get too worked up over where a kid wants to pursue his education and play his collegiate career at. I'm just not one of those people, and I could never understand and relate as to why grown men will bash kids on social media because those said kids don't want to go to their favorite college. I don't get it. It's a weird concept to me. But anyways, I said that to say this. Mr. Jaden Rashada is one guy I've actually kept up with the past 2 years. There's 2 reasons for that. Number 1, obviously, he's a 5-star recruit, so of course I've heard of him. But number 2, this isn't the first controversy he's been involved in. And I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure we talked about him around this time last year. I'm not going to go over that story too much, but there was this big thing going on where I believe, I'm almost certain on this, I could be wrong, let me know in the comment section, but I believe before he signed with Florida, he was already committed and signed with Miami. I could be wrong on that, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't hold any weight in this story. All you need to know is he was signed with Florida. That's all the basic information you need to know, and you know how I am. I like to dumb things down because nobody wants some complicated story. Here's where you really got to start to pay attention because things could kind of get confusing. In the past couple of days or so, it was announced out of nowhere that 2023 quarterback Jaden Rashada requested a release from his NLI, not NIL, his NLI, which is his national letter of intent. I gotta clarify that because now we talk about the NIL so much, a lot of people misread it. No, this is NLI. For those of you that don't know, your national letter of intent is what you sign to make it official. And whenever you sign this national letter of intent, there is no decommitting and committing somewhere else. No, this is official business. That's why we don't allow all these freshmen and sophomores and I believe juniors to even sign national letters of intent because we know they're going to change their mind. Anyways, getting back on track here, the news came out that he wanted a release. Here's where things start to get interesting. Hayes Fawcett, I hope I'm saying that correctly on Twitter. He's the person who's always making the cool edits for the players whenever they sign or decommit. He got a DM from Jaden Rashada that said, "Where did y'all get this?" referring to that information. You see, that right there is why I wait a couple of days to report on this news because a lot of times it can be false. I've noticed that a lot of people have said that on 313, whatever you want to call them, they're always trying to jump the gun and spread misinformation and blah, 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 blah. So some people thought this was false information. He's still going to go to Florida, no problems about it. However, there were still a lot of questions and a lot of people thinking something may be going on behind the scenes. And then that is when Jaden Rashada's dad himself, who I would say is a reliable source, said this. Jaden has not enrolled yet. He's in the Bay Area. We're having a conversation with Florida tomorrow. We're in constant talks with Florida in regards to his enrollment, but I'd like to think if he's not enrolled by Friday, there will be some challenges there to proceed as we planned. Or not as we planned, as planned, my bad. We're working through some things right now with Florida and hoping that they get resolved soon. Jaden has been excited about the next chapter of his academic and athletic career and is eagerly anticipating early enrollment in Gainesville. Interesting. In this said quote, I found 2 sentences or phrases fishy, and I'll explain why. The first one is, we're in constant talks with Florida in regards to his enrollment. Well, here's my question of that. What are these constant talks about? It's not a complicated process. You either enroll or you don't. There's nothing whatsoever to be confused about. This isn't a situation where the university is saying, oh, well, your payment, it got declined, this or that. No. This is a guy that's going to have a full ride. To go along with that, you should also pay attention to this, and it goes hand in hand, also stating, we're working through some things right now with Florida and hoping that they get resolved soon. I'm sure many of you are probably thinking the same thing I am. These things he's referring to, it's not football related. It's about money. You know why I say that? Because the rumors have been circling and going around that Florida is no longer going to pay him the $13 million they promised. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. For those of you that haven't been keeping up with this situation, Florida, and it's the main reason they even got him in the first place, gave him the NIL deal, or was supposed to, where he's going to get $13 million. That's a lot of money, right? And if you're about to enroll and Florida's like, well, hey, we don't know if we can give you that money anymore, that's going to cause some problems, and it's why we're seeing what we're currently seeing. I think what happened was Jaden Rashada was about to enroll in Florida, and his dad was like, well, let me double check just to make sure that money is going to come in. He calls Florida, whoever, the AD, the head coach, Billy Napier, whatever, and says, hey, we're still getting that $13 million, right? And they was like, oh, yeah, about that. Yeah, it's not happening. And that's why you're seeing this mess unfold, because they're trying to work it out. This isn't a complicated situation. Jaden Rashada and his dad are going, hey, you got 48, 72 hours to give us this $13 million, or we're taking our talents elsewhere. Because at this point in time, you're not just going to Florida because it's a great program. It's not a great program at this current point in time. It's a dumpster fire. The only incentive to going to Florida to play quarterback is money. Oh yeah, by the way, gotta throw this in there. The last day to add and drop classes is Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, that is today. That is when this video is being uploaded. So if you don't hear anything about Mr. Jaden Rashada adding some classes in about 8 or 10 hours, more than likely he will not be playing at Florida. Man, oh man, I wish I could say I feel bad, but I don't. This is what happens when your recruitment pitch is money. When tough times happen and the money runs out, that recruit, he no longer cares about the school or program, and he'll just leave. It's the same thing with a girl. If a girl's just with you because of your money, that's a bad thing, because eventually when that money runs out, the girl, she's gonna leave. This is just so funny to me. I wish I could say I feel bad for Florida, but I don't. Look, it's simple. Stop promising these kids you're going to pay them $10 million. And I'm not even blaming the Jaden Rashada kid. I'd be in the same boat. If Florida was recruiting me in high school and they said they were going to give me $13 million, and then out of nowhere they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're not giving you $13 million, I'd be like, no, where's my money? I'm not even adding classes. I'm not even enrolling until you give me my money. You can't blame the kid, because Florida is the people who brought the money up in the first place. What has college football come to? I don't know. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But